FBA fees climbing, I'm losing my grip. Storage costs rising, they'll never let me skip. Refunds I'm eating, returns pile up too. Oh, Amazon, what else will you do? I look at my dashboard, my profits erased. My margins are gone, it's a slap in the face. Prime Day's a promise, but it's such a race. How much will I make if I'm replaced? It's a cruel, cruel number. Fees keep climbing, profits torn asunder. Oh, it's cruel, the sellers wonder how to survive when the margins go under. It's a cruel, cruel number. Every month it's something new to plunder. Oh, it's cruel, it's no wonder we're stuck in this game, the algorithm's thunder.
Yo, Amazon's back, and they got a new scheme. Reimbursement slashed, it's every seller's dream. They're digging deep, taking more from the pot. Let's break it all down, expose what they got. March 25, it's a policy drop. They say manufacturing costs, but we know it's a flop. Give us your cogs, they're demanding the price. But if you don't, they'll estimate nice. Nice for them, not for you. Watch a payout shrink. The comprehensive evil is a corporate wing. Lost in the warehouse, damaged on the floor. Now they pay you pennies, not a cent more. Fees on the rise, profits on the run. They don't lift a finger, but they pocket the fun. We're fair! They shout while they cut our shares. Amazon math, man, it's full of errors. Fees, taking our dough. They're stacking the deck, and it's sellers who owe. Reimbursements? Nah, they're taking us down, but we're still here, we don't mess around. Fees, straight to the top. Amazon's game, it'll never stop. Margins tight, but we keep the grind. Sellers unite, we're one of a kind.
I try to sell my product on Amazon, thought it'd be a breeze. But little did I know I'd be stuck with seller support disease. They never seem to solve my problems, just give me the runaround. I'm tired of waiting on hold. My patience is wearing thin, I'll never be found. Amazon seller support, you suck, you suck, you suck. Can't get no satisfaction. I'm out of luck, out of luck, out of luck. You don't care about my business, just trying to make a buck. Amazon seller support, you suck, you suck, you suck.
This one's for the sellers on the grind, getting left on red, wasting all their time. I hit up support, got an auto reply. Thanks for your patience, man, I wanna cry. Inventory lost, my margins are toast. Reps playing tag like the Casper the Ghost. They pass me around, it's a never-ending game. Nobody takes action, everybody shifts blame. My ASIN's down, I'm out of the race. They say they'll escalate, yo, what a disgrace. Amazon seller support, you're breaking my heart. No answers, no fixes, just tearing me apart. Hours in the queue, stuck in the dark. Amazon seller support, you're missing the mark.
Amazon game plan, that is the key. Seller central dashboard, that's where I be. Analyze the funnel, see what we lack, then we optimize. Sellers know it's a fact. I get it poppin', you know that it's lit. Climbing the rankings, ain't no room to quit. I check the data, they notice the stats. I keep the method, that's how you adapt. Metrics are showing, you know it's our cap. Amazon sellers, it's time to react. I'm about that action, I do this with passion. I got them like, whoa, what is this? Huh, whoa.
I don't know, dude. I think everybody's just buying stuff based on reviews and badges or whatever. They don't even know who we are. These customers don't even know the name of my brand. But they keep clicking add to cart like it's part of the plan. They see that Amazon badge and think it's all grand. But yo, they don't even know the name of my brand.
Click, scroll, build your store. Amazon's waiting, what you waiting for? Brand it loud, make it shine. Steven's here to drop the rhyme. Blue tiles, banners, plug and play. Your storefront's live, let's sell the day. Now listen up, I'm Steven Pope, Amazon guru, I'll help you cope. Step 1, get that trademark stamped. Without brand registration, registry, your Amazon cramped. Head to Seller Central, log in quick. Manage stores tab, yeah, that's the trick. Upload your logo, flex that style. You're about to make Jeff Bezos smile. Where pick a template, marquee or grid. Drop your tiles like a branding whiz. Hero image, big and bold. This store's gonna glitter like digital gold. Scroll, build your store. Amazon's waiting, what you waiting for? Brand it loud, make it shine. Steven's here to drop the rhyme. Blue tiles, banners, plug and play. Your storefront's live, let's sell today. Yo. In the trenches of the Amazon game, trying to survive while it's driving me insane. Nobody warns you, they just claim it's passive income. Nah, it's pain. I'm sitting at a birthday, laughing, chilling, next to a newbie Amazon seller spilling. She's like, Prime so smooth, it's a killer. Then tried to sell, now she's stuck in a thriller. Finding products, yeah, that's the first grind. Scrolling Alibaba, losing my mind. Sample suck, manufacturers decline. I'm like, dang, how's anyone doing this fine? Ship it in, pay for the bubble wrap, but they ship glass bottles in padded crap. Now I got hot sauce leaks, refund stack, customers pissed. Man, I'm under attack. Amazon's a beast, it's a fight, no peace. From SEO to PPC, the hustle don't cease. Think it's passive? Nah, you better increase your tolerance for chaos or face defeat. Trademark wars, brand registries a scam. They banned my brand, now I'm in a jam. Listings yanked, products ranked and tanked. Lost dogs in the catalog, my account shanked. Now let's talk ads, it's a rabbit hole. 1,000 hours deep, man, it's taking my soul. Weekly negations, bulk sheets for control. Excel's my new weapon, but it's taking its toll. SEO's no joke, keywords in the game. Alt text, A+ content, playing insane. Lifestyle shots, avatars for fame, but the CTR's low. All products look the same. Amazon's a beast, it's a fight, no peace. From SEO to PPC, from SEO to PPC, the hustle don't cease. Think it's passive? Nah, you better increase your tolerance for chaos or face defeat.
Let's go to Mac School. To Mac School. Class is now in session with Professor Pope. They got the SAP, cause Professor Pope wrote the recipe. Helping Amazon sellers grow sales exponentially. Amazon's a jungle, but we map the strategy. Brand strategist playbook, it's a guide to victory. Troubleshooting catalog, you know we got the answer key. Boosting all your rankings, turning sales into a legacy. SOB so deep, you'd think we studied at Mac School. Every step we follow leads to growth, yeah, it's a golden loop. Stuck on keywords, we'll find the ones that work the best. Using Helium 10, strike distance keywords pass the test. Incremental indexing ensures the listing set to rise. From the backend to the bullets, optimization hits the skies. Brand store creation, yeah, we make it shine and flow. A+ content design makes conversions overflow. Need your images on point, best practices in the plan. Alt text and photo rules ensure your visuals command. SEO meets PPC, it's balanced, every step aligned. We'll construct the MKLs that drive rankings over time. Budget caps and bid adjustments, no more wasted spending. Segmentation builds campaigns that sellers can defend. Got a hijacker, no problem, we'll file to take them down. Review requests in action, 5-star ratings come around. Flat file updates, market share reports, it's all in reach. Professor Pope wrote the URSO so sellers learn and teach.
Meanwhile, my Amazon guys on the case, fixing up my problems at lightning pace. Ticket escalations, Mag's the boss. Even Amazon says we'll take the loss. Seller support don't know what's up. Passing the buck when the issue gets tough. They're the official team, but they can't comply. So they say, reach out to my Amazon guy. They're supposed to be the pros, but they can't decode policies and tools from their own damn road. I'm paying fees, yet they bring me stress. But Mag turns my chaos into pure success. Seller support reps, they throwing shade, but then admit, yo, Mag will get you paid. Third-party agency taking the throne while Amazon fumbles in their own damn zone. Seller support don't know what's up. Passing the buck when the issue gets tough. They're the official team, but they can't comply. So they say, reach out to my Amazon guy. So here's the truth, let's keep it real. Mag's the team with the pro-level skill. Amazon sellers, you know the vibe. When support says call Mag, they'll give you peace of mind. Amazon seller support, you can suck my image stack. Sucking is all you're good at anyway. Bezos, hit me up if you want to sell seller support. I'm buying. There's a chase. Peace.
Hello and welcome to the My Amazon Guy Friday Live Q&A. My name is Noah Wickham and I am VP of Sales and Marketing here at My Amazon Guy, here to answer any and all of your questions. So if you have a question, throw it in the chat. We have been getting questions for about an hour before we go live. It seems like every single week there's people who come in here before we're even live and they're just like, yeah, let me get my question out there as soon as I can. So throw them in. We will get to them as we go along, and if there's no more questions, we'll hop on off and we'll be live, I don't know, hour or so, and we'll go from there. So all that being said, let's get this in here. We even got this guy. He came in here at 11:20 and he said, ready to start. He wanted us to be getting going early. We got Abdullah first and foremost saying, hello, can you show me what report you give to your client? I mean, Amazon PPC report, like ACOS, tacos, what data including? I don't have a example just on hand, but we use Merchant Spring right now for the most part. We do some individualized reports for like specific things that we want to show, trend data and things like that. But we do Merchant Spring, which does automatic reporting for us, shows all of those metrics. We do a 7-day, a 30-day, and then a trend data year to date usually within that. So it'll show all of those metrics. It's really nice. Goes out every single morning or every single Monday at the same exact time. So yeah, I would just do something like that. Merchant Spring is great. Go check them out. Love those guys. Noah, we lost all variations for our brand, and when we tried to rebuild them, we got the 8040 error code, which says you may not create new variation or relationships for this brand variation are for kids' backpacks who vary based on the image on them. What can I do to be able to make variations again? Well, let's dig into this. This is a fun one. I haven't gotten an error code question in a while. So first thing that I always do whenever I get an error code of any kind is I look it up if I don't just know which error code it is off the top of my head. So let's do that. So very first thing, hopping into this. So we're just going to click this one. We're going to go to error code 840 and see what it says. So here we go. Explains error code 840, error message, you're not approved to create new variation relationships between ASINs for this brand. Review our guidance on creating variations of variation relationships. If you believe that the variation relationship you're trying to create follows this guidance, contact seller support. Okay, so immediately I actually have a pretty clear idea as to what's going on here with you getting this error code specifically. So what I would probably say is the problem here, and I can actually pull it up real quick. There was some news, some Amazon news that came out, and I actually talked about it here recently, if I can find it, where Amazon was deprecating a bunch of variation types, essentially. So here we go. So there's this news here where Amazon came out. They said, they are getting rid of irrelevant and redundant variation themes. That would be my first suspicion here, Skylar, is that essentially you were using one of these deprecated themes for your variation group of some kind. So you'll notice it'll say in the bulk file, if you get that deprecated, do not use. They were saying that essentially they were changing this to only get rid of variation themes that had no sales in the past 12 months. However, you would not be the first person that I have seen who this is not the case. I've actually seen it for a couple of people who said, hey, I've been using this variation theme for a while now. It was part of the deprecated, do not use, but I have gotten sales in the last 12 months and now it's not working. So that's going to be my first suspicion when you're getting error code 8040. That's more than likely what is going on here. That being said, a couple other key things that could potentially be going on. It could be something as simple as your brand is not correctly attributing to those ASINs. You can work with seller support on it as well and try and see and ask seller support to create the parentage or the variation relationship for you. That may also work as well. So all of those are kind of some possibilities here. Eric, is there any way to figure out ad spend per ASIN / SKU? Yeah, there is actually. So what we can do here, and I'll just kind of, again, pull this up here. If you head on over to your campaign manager, there's actually a couple of different ways you can go about this. So the first and probably the easiest one would be this, where essentially in your campaign manager, Eric, you want to come over here and just go to products, right? So you can see advertised products right here, and then you can just see, whatever the sales are for that product. You can add some columns as well, so we can customize these columns into specific types, where we can also have the spend here. So you can see something as simple as that, where you can see the spend for all the products. So hopefully that is kind of the answer you're looking for there. Hey, Noah, I've returned with many questions again. Fantastic. I finished the MAG SEO course. There's a lot of places for SEO. Can I assume I can get every keyword in my niche in? Yeah. Are you going to be able to do it immediately? No. So that's why if you finish the SEO course, you should know there's 4 phases to SEO. And the reason there's 4 phases is that you are consistently going to be updating those keywords, right? You're not going to just say, oh, I'm going to throw every single keyword that I need for my niche in all at once. It's going to be, strike zone, for instance. There's going to be some keywords you want to try and get ranking higher than other ones. And so those are going to be priority for you. So can you get every single keyword in? I mean, there are listings out there with 10,000 plus keywords on them. So definitely a lot at the very least. In the edit listing, there is the generic keyword section that can have up to 5 lines. Each line can fit 250 bytes, or is it collectively totaling 250 kilobytes? So this is controversial. Amazon keeps changing it, to be honest. So some categories and some products have only 1 line, and that line is 250 bytes. Other categories have 5 lines, and each line is 250 bytes. Some categories have 5 lines, and it is 500 characters per line, essentially. They don't care about the number of bytes. It's just character count. So there's a lot of discrepancy in that. Typically speaking, it's just going to depend on what Amazon allows you to do. Easiest thing to do here to see which of them applies for you is to basically just fill out the entire thing with as many characters as possible and see if you get any error codes on it. Do I need to use keyword for backend SEO? They're in title bullets already. Course said no, but to do it anyways. Yeah, so no, technically you don't. So this is, I believe, phase 2, pink keywords. Yeah, so phase 2 essentially is all about doing pink keyword updates. So pink keywords are essentially keywords that you are already index rank for, that you have essentially on your front end, that you also then have on your back end. You take them out of your title bullet points already, so you don't have to continuously use those, because it's not going to be purposeful. You're already indexed for them as is. So yeah, that would be phase 2 of that SEO course. Jeff, good to see you. Can you show the steps to take to close the Canada and Mexico portions of an account while keeping the US portion open? We don't sell in those countries, but see several unauthorized Canada and Mexico sellers. All right, so first and foremost, there's 2 parts to this, Jeff. So the first part is that no, you technically can't do that anymore. So Amazon used to let you close specific markets, and you can try, like they have a button there for closing just that marketplace, and you can click that button. It won't close that marketplace. It's kind of frustrating. They essentially have grouped marketplaces now by things such as Europe, North America, South America, so on and so forth. So unfortunately, no, there's not a real way to do this. Now, the secondary aspect to this, Jeff, is that closing a market does not stop someone from selling within that market, and does not stop someone from selling your product within that market. Just because you are not selling in that market does not mean that someone else can not sell your product in that market. So that would be something to take into note here. The only real way to stop this is, 1, figure out how it is exactly that they're getting product and selling it there. And then 2, worst case scenario, do something like transparency codes, right? Make it so only you can sell the product wherever it is. But unfortunately, yeah, there's not an easy way to close these markets anymore. You can submit support tickets, and you can technically click the button that says close market and not close the entirety of it, and just try and close that specific channel. But I have found that 9 times out of 10, you can't. It just, because they're tied all within that same region, essentially. I have a thing on the back. See, I'm being told that my voice is ahead of my video in some capacity. I don't know how to solve that, I gotta be honest, unfortunately. So we're just gonna keep going and hope that it doesn't bug you guys. I understand that Amazon will no longer offer certain prep services after January 1st, 2026, but will Amazon still offer product labeling, or would that be gone as well? Amazon will not offer product labeling. That will be gone as well. I believe that at least from their update, which I mean, I guess we can pull it up and read it ourselves. Here, let's do prep. Where's their? Let's see. When did they announce that? They announced it fairly recently. Can't find the news article for it, Joe. But yeah, they announced it. I want to say last month is when they announced it. Sales lift, new fee, new guide. I'll have to find it again, Jeff, but I'm pretty positive, yes, that they will no longer offer the labeling portion as well, because I think that's considered prep in their mind, which is, yes, kind of an issue. I would advise everyone switch over to product labels as soon as possible, or essentially just UPCs. Manufacturer labels, essentially what it's called. But anyways, Eric, Amazon says we have list prices that may be out of date based on objective date. How to correct? We have list prices on the listings. That sounds more like you set essentially a date time for your list price. You just have to go into edit listing and remove any dates from your pricing area. Simple as that. Super simple. Takes about 30 seconds and you'll be off to the races. To create a deal, my was price shows a value lower than my actual average price over the last 30, 60 days. Can price history be refreshed or corrected? Okay, so average selling price is different than was price. So was price is the lowest price that your product has been sold at over the course of the last 30 days. Your average price is the average selling price over the last 30 days. So was price is the lowest, average is an average of everything you have sold it at. That they are two very different things and they affect different areas. So for instance, I believe it's coupons go off of the was price for specific events, whereas like other ones will go off of your average price. So it's something to take account of, for instance. But yeah, was price and average price are two entirely different things you have. The two types of budget rules: one, schedule-based rule; two, performance-based rule. How can we use these effectively to avoid overspending? So realistically, it's not about your budget should never be in an area where you're going to be overspending. I think that's the biggest thing is like budget rules are not necessarily meant for trying to stop overspend. In fact, it's kind of almost the opposite. They're meant to essentially only be spending during certain hours of the day, right? Or during certain days. Performance-based, a little bit different, right? So that is closer to the idea of trying to not overspend, but only in the capacity of your goal with a performance-based rule is more so keep something like ACoS stable, keep something like click-through rate stable. If you see that you're getting a ton of clicks and no conversions, right? You just completely just cut off your budget for that because you don't want to be spending against something that you have a super high ACoS and a super low conversion rate. So it's not so much either of those rules are made to avoid overspending. It's more like they're made to correct certain areas, I guess. I don't know how else to say it. How can I control my monthly budget? For example, if I don't want to spend more than $1,500 a month, how can I manage my expenses to stay within that limit? Yeah, so on every single account, there is account settings and budgets that you can stay within. So you can actually, fun fact, go through and set an account level budget for the entirety of the account, and Amazon won't spend past that amount. It's something that I personally don't like doing just because it's been annoying. but it is something you could do. So you could set an entire, essentially you can set an entire budget, and you can even set like sponsored product budget. So like you can do a cap as to how much you'll spend on sponsored product per day. So if you only have sponsored product campaigns and you only want to spend, I don't know, if you're at 1,500, that would be what, $50 a day, right? So if you only want to spend $50 a day, you can set a daily budget cap of $50. How do I get a strike through price on Amazon? All my competitors have one using list price, even though they've never sold at that price. Yep. So you have to have sold product in general, and you can only get strike through based off of your actual average selling price. So you have to basically be selling product, and you say they've never sold at that price. That's a lie. They actually have to sold at that price, but essentially you need to get sales volume in general. You can have a sale price. So essentially just do a sale price with a list price. And if you're selling at that sale price, eventually it will show the list price as well. But unfortunately, it does have a little bit of an effect on average selling price. So for instance, if you forever keep your sale price up with that strike through and that list price, eventually Amazon will take away that strike through from you, because the fact that your average selling price over a period of time is just your sale price, in which case Amazon won't let you have that strike through. So you're saying this is an example of someone in the UK, amazon.co.uk/BP/ you're saying this guy has never once sold at the price that is his list price. I'm going to say hard doubt, but happy to look at it. So first and foremost, what he has is not a strike through. So we'll start there. And then we will look here. Yeah, it looks like his list price has been fairly high, but he changes his price all the time. Yeah, this is fairly par for the course. He has the list price, that's fine, which is your MSRP, and then he changes his list price. So this is actually a great example of this. So if you're looking here, Toman, you're right. He's never actually sold at his list price, which is fine. You don't have to sell at your list price. But you'll notice his list price used to be $34.99. But then they lowered the list price down to $26.99. The reason they lowered this list price down to $26.99 is because of exactly what I'm talking about. Of they basically sold for a year straight with this, and then Amazon was like, hey, this is not your actual, list price and everything. And so they are forced then to basically be like, oh, okay, we have to lower our list price so we can continue offering a discount. That being said, yeah, there's this right here where they have like a strike through and everything. They also have a limited time deal. So that's something to take note of. They're also doing like a save 5% at the end of the day. This is like a super bad example of like someone to utilize to mimic for like list price stuff though. So either way. Mohammed, I've had certain ASIN inactive on complaint violation like 12 days ago. For now, there is no violation on account health, but ASIN is not active. Okay. I've created cases, contacted account health on call. So essentially you got a violation, and on the ASIN itself, you're saying it's not on account health and your ASIN is still not active. So have you gone to performance notifications? Have you looked to see if you have an IP violation of some kind? Have you called account health assurance as of yet? Have you tried deleting the product and then relisting the product? I would do all of those things before I would just like claim, it's not showing up, right? So that's probably one of those, I would say, is your answer. I know. I have 6 related products that have steadily lost organic ranking over the past few weeks, while PPC cost per click has more than doubled. I've confirmed the listings aren't suppressed. The backend category and browse node settings are correct. I even refreshed the SEO unchanged for over a year to force an update. What are the most common reasons for this happening? All right. So 6 products that have steadily lost organic ranking over the last few weeks, while your cost per click and your PPC has more than doubled. I can almost assure you that these two things are related, and they are related to a new competitor within the market. And I would almost guarantee if you go to where you technically are usually ranking around there, you're going to find a product that within the last 2-3 months has launched, probably some really low cost Chinese seller who is just spending a crap ton of money on advertising to grow both their sponsored and organic rank. And that is what is probably taking sales from you immediately. So that's always going to be like my first suspicion. I would also do a check on your search query performance report. See if you are losing score anywhere or if you're decreasing in metrics, specifically in your click-through rate or your impressions. Both of those will tell you very quickly whether or not this is like a true product issue or whether or not this is a competitor issue. I searched my own ASIN in Helium 10 and discovered I have a few keywords that I rank fairly closely to the top organic ranking 20 of 50. Okay. But they are variations of each other. 6 watch case 6, and others. Okay. And then what is the second part here? It's a good idea to run campaigns to boost my rankings to the top. They are low search volume, 200 to 500 each. But if I get the top on multiple, that's collectively up to 2K search volume. Yeah, you could. Those are fairly low. You're right, low search volume keywords. I wouldn't prioritize them. But this is essentially our phase 3 of SEO, which is our strike zone phase. So this is where essentially during our strike zone phase, we go through and we try and boost keywords that are in what we call the strike zone. They are ranked 20 to 50 to get them between 1 and 19. So I would also look into our phase 3 strike zone, do that at the same time to try and boost that organic ranking. We're currently expanding our USA production to the Canadian marketplace and have noticed that our Canadian listings are not fully aligned with our US listings. Specifically, the A+ content is missing and we can't edit the listings. Could you guide us on the best approach to ensure our Canadian listings are fully optimized and consistent with our US listings? Yep. So first and foremost, I would verify and make sure that your ASIN is actually pulling over from the US to Canada. Make sure that they're not different ASINs. And that you have set up the international listing. So you can actually do this by just going to build my international listings. It's a little section under, what is it on Amazon? If you go to the top left, I gotta go all the way up here. Under inventory, there is a section called Sell Globally. Under the Sell Globally section, you will see it just says build my international listings. Or build international listings. And so you can actually set those up, make sure that they're set up properly for Canada as well, and make sure that you actually have your ASIN attached. Now, all of that, let's say you've done, are you trademarked within Canada? Do you have brand registry within Canada? Are you actually controlling your listing, or has someone else created the listing and it's different from your normal listing? All of these are things that I would check into first and foremost. But the brand registry is probably a really big one that I think people tend to miss quite frequently. Today I saw a post on Facebook of Stephen Pope about HTML titles. What is this and how to use it? And is it useful? Yeah, so HTML titles, essentially, when you create a listing on Amazon, the top 5 keywords within your title are tending to be in the slug or the URL. So that's one thing to take a note of. The other aspect of this as well is that, you can change that around. So if you submit a seller support ticket, you can actually change that URL 9 times out of 10. I think that's what you're talking about. It's not. The other aspect of this is that you can make specific changes to your title if you just include HTML code in your bulk file for your title when you upload it. We've noticed that some unauthorized sellers are selling our USA products in the Canadian marketplace. What steps would you recommend to identify and remove them? And is there a specific process we should follow? As we expand into the Canadian marketplace, we've noticed that the USPP. Okay. So let's keep this. Same exact thing I was talking to Jeff Allen earlier. Figure out exactly how and why they're getting their products. Figure out if the product they are selling is counterfeit. If it's counterfeit, then you can just file a counterfeit claim against them. That's kind of the first and foremost thing. I would just do that through brand registry. If it is true product, you need to figure out where is that product coming from and squash it, right? You can do that a few different ways if you're selling distributors, if you're selling retail, or you could just do transparency codes, right? That's another option as well. All of that up in the air about, right? So the biggest thing is figuring out where is the product coming from first and foremost, and that will kind of guide you on which avenue to take. As we expand into the Canadian marketplace, we've noticed that our US PPC campaigns are also visible in Canada. Could you advise on the best approach for managing PPC campaigns in the Canadian marketplace? I would have the, here we go. Should we create separate campaigns specifically for Canada? Is there a way to adopt our existing US campaigns for the Canadian audience? Yeah. So a couple of things. When you are in the actual, when you are in Amazon's dashboard, Amazon has the ability on their advertising to basically filter by country. So you can choose which countries to create specific campaigns for. So if I do this, so you'll actually see on this tab here, you'll see that all of these are for our Canadian marketplace. So all of these are Canadian. They're in CAD. We could also do United States, and we can create campaigns specifically for the United States. So all of these essentially will allow different things. That's the biggest thing is that, yeah, you can create them on both ends at the same time. The biggest thing I would say here is, should you do anything different? No, I mean, the Canadian marketplace is going to be the exact same as the US in how you kind of optimize for it at the end of the day. What is the best way to change a category, i.e. from industrial and scientific to kitchen and dining? The vast majority of our SKUs, 170-ish, are kitchen and dining, and the products are identical. So best way, bulk file. Second best way, seller support, creating a ticket so that they actually change it in their browse node as well. Just simple ticket, requesting browse node change to a more apt category. Choose the category ahead of time, give them the entire browse node. So from parent all the way down to minor niche, and each one of those steps. Again, you can try via bulk file. I see a lot of people fail with that sometimes though. Got my mag mug back. Since Amazon will no longer offer labeling prep after 1/1/26, will I be able to switch to manufacturer barcode even if the product is an expirable supplement? Ooh, so technically, yeah. You're still going to have issues, Jeff, at the end of the day, with the aspect of trying to get that expiry, right? So Amazon has the first in, first out mentality with any expirable product. I am doubtful on it very often. It creates an issue. The other thing you could do here is you could get a 3PL that does Amazon product labeling and prep services. It's going to add a cost for you, obviously, but you could do that, is essentially just get someone to label all the products for you, then send it to Amazon. A couple of good ones out there. I mean, like my AMZ Prep, Zon Prep, FBA Prep, all of those are great services, great companies to utilize. Would absolutely look at any of those at the end of the day. I use software to day part my PPC, so ads run only 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific, based on sales data and to avoid low conversion nighttime spend. What's your take on this approach? I think it's fine. Day parting has been around for years. Now, that being said, you don't need software for this. You literally could just do this inside Amazon's own system. You do not at all need a software for this at this point in time. That makes your life easier to have a software. More power to you. But you do not need a software to day part at Other than size, color, or how many in a pack, Eric? Wait, what is this from? Oh, identical other. Okay, so it's just category thing. Yeah, same thing. Eric, still same answer for the category. I saw a video that's Stephen Hope said that campaigns with more than 5 keywords are great because 80 to 90% budget impressions end up going to only 5 keywords in that campaign. Is that true? Yeah. For all intents and purposes, if you ever look at any campaigns that are successful, right, that have more than, let's say, 5 to 10 keywords, right, 10 being like the absolute max, majority of campaigns all the time are going to end up having the 80-20 rule, right? So the 80-20 rule, everyone knows, essentially 80% of your output is determined by 20% of your total keywords, input, whatever, right? So 20% of your input equals 80% of your output, right? So in the situation of keywords and campaigns on advertising PPC, a lot of times we're going to typically see that there's going to be, let's say we have 10 keywords, 2 of them are going to be dominators. They're going to be our hero keywords. They're going to be our hero products, targets, whatever within the campaign. They're going to eat up the majority of budget. They're going to produce the majority of sales. They're going to get the majority of impressions. That is purposeful by Amazon. That is how Amazon wants campaigns to work and be active. What we do in these situations is we then take the 80% that are not performing, pull those out of the campaign, keep the campaign with the 20% that is working, and put the 80% into a new campaign and see if we can create a new version of the 80-20 rule with the remaining keywords. Simple as that. So therefore, campaigns with exact match keyword variation be split campaigns up to 5. Yes. 1-2. I am a Canadian vendor who makes handmade items. My items are all in one variation. Different colors are search suppressed since yesterday due to parent issue with new field import designation. Where is the second? Oh, here. My option is imported. I can't find info about this new field. My items qualify for no tariff/duties under CUSMA. I don't see option to specify this. If I change a parent, I worry all items will have some blanket tariff charged at checkout. Have you heard about this issue? Can you point anywhere? Meanwhile, I'm losing all ranking, etc. I have not. I have not fully heard about this. I will dig into this. That being said, a couple of things to note here is the aspect that, from my knowledge, the blanket tariffs that were put across do not have exceptions, essentially. So the tariffs that were imposed do not have an exception. You mentioned here that there is like a specific designation here with CUSMA. I wonder my items qualify for no tariffs. I will have to look into that. I was under the impression that there is 0 exemptions at the end of the day for the blanket tariff that is, I believe, 10%. I think the 10% blanket is everything. And then what you're talking about of specific duties based on category is exactly that. There are other tariffs on top of that 10% based on specific category as well. So that's where you would probably have the exemption, but not the exemption for the verified. Now, the only thing with the actual field as well, you need to figure out exactly where you are from that. Again, I can look into this, maybe make some content out of it. Is this something that I should also probably learn more about so I can kind of help people like you? I took your PPC course, and during the keyword research in Cerebro, you applied several filters like ranking, competitor count, and search volume. Could you explain in detail the purpose and logic behind each filter? This part was missing from the courses. Yep. So I'm not going to go through the entire course and explain everything. If you have specific questions about the courses, you can always email us. We're always happy to explain in further detail. We also have tons of videos on exactly what you're talking about here. So yeah, logic here. So essentially it depends on what you're looking at, but specifically for like competitor research, right? You don't want to choose keywords that only have 100 search volume. 100 search volume does nothing for you. You need 10 of them. And to gain 100% market share on that keyword to get 1,000 search volume, right? If you have 1,000 search volume, you have, let's say, a I don't know, 5% click-through rate, you're getting 50 clicks, and from that 50 clicks, you have a 15% conversion rate, you're getting whatever it is, like 3 sales, right? The purpose here, at the end of the day, I guess it would be 8 sales. The purpose here at the end of the day that you need to be looking at for each of these, right, is that you are trying to essentially find high value, high search volume keywords that your competitors are directly also advertising against, also indexed against. Because if they are advertising and indexed against those keywords or ranking well for them, you can safely assume those are high value keywords you also should likely be going against as well. So I think that's a pretty high level generalized overview of kind of what you're asking here. But if there's, a further really in-depth part that you want more information on, I'm sure we either one have a video, or you can always, like I said, reach out to us. We're happy to try and figure out an answer for you. Related to my earlier question, a new competitor is indeed driving up cost per click and hurting our organic rankings. Besides boosting PPC, what other strategies can we use to counter this? Unfortunately, that's going to be your primary one, Michael. Ranking is decided by sales volume. Sales volume is the number one thing that determines ranking at the end of the day for any type of keyword whatsoever. So the only thing you can really do is drive more sales volume. How can you do that? Well, you can try and increase your conversion rate through doing promotions. You can increase the number of keywords and the number of places that you are getting clicks from. You can spend more on advertising to try and drive sales, but organic matters more than than paid. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Big thing here is that ranking is indicative of sales volume. So you need to be selling, essentially. I went to the seminar that Kevin Sanderson had with Ironbox the other day. I won a $1,000 giveaway from you guys, your brand manager course. Just want to say thanks. Yeah, no problem. Absolutely. Happy to hear that you won. Serious question, Noah. Thin crust or thick crust pizza? Your answer will determine whether I keep watching your videos. No pressure. That seems like a lot of pressure. I would like to think that the value I provide is higher tier than just asking what my opinion on pizza is. That being said, it depends is my favorite phrase ever, because it does. I love a very crunchy thin crust pizza. That is my favorite type of pizza at the end of the day. Now, that being said, if you get me like a Jets pizza that has the 4 square corners, because they have really, really, really crunchy, crispy, good tasting crust on the outside, I love that too. So that's where it depends, but I'm not a deep dish guy. Typically, I like Jets, but I don't like a Chicago deep dish pizza. 9 times out of 10, I'm just gonna get a thin crust pizza though. Serious debate time. Okay. Okay. Get the thin crust, unless you get Jets. In which case, if you get Jets, get the Cajun crust. That's great. Eric, thanks, Noah, for all your questions. No problem. Let's see. I went from failed product to new product with no sales in first month to 2.3K sales last month. Your videos have helped me so much, still going up. I haven't even optimized everything, so I'm excited. Hey, congrats. Always good to see people are growing slowly but surely. It takes time. It is nothing but a time play. And if you're willing to, take your time and kind of move as things move on Amazon, you'll do well. Just lost one of my cards. Let's see. Is there any way to know the organic traffic we're getting on keywords? How can we know those keywords? Yeah, you can go to your search query performance under brand analytics, and it will actually tell you where your traffic is coming from. So that's probably going to be your best bet. Let's see. Mr. Al, question. I have products in Amazon FBA Canada and want to sell to the US and other markets. Do I need my products to be stocked in each country? Technically, no. You can do things through what is called the North American remote fulfillment. So North American remote fulfillment allows you to ship products to any of the different markets within North America from whatever market you are in. Now, the only caveat here is that 9 times out of 10, your sales are not going to be good in those other markets because shipping time is going to take forever. there's going to be extra costs in the actual shipping as well. So I would technically advise you to probably, yes, throw some inventory into the US market if you want to actually get something from the US market. So North American remote fulfillment used to be a really cool thing for people to do. It's good if you don't have the inventory capacity or the money to be able to send inventory in bulk to a market to just do a like minor test, but you're never going to get as much out of a market as you will from like directly being within that market. Let's see here. Jan Jaworski. Same as USMCA. There's a blanket of 35% if not under USMCA. I've done all the way paperwork for import. This is the first I've heard about this from Amazon, and no alerts from documentation either. Yeah, let me look into it, Jan, because I will be entirely frank, I haven't done enough research on the USMCA. I know that there is essentially the exemptions for a lot of that, but that being said, I would have to look into how that applies to Amazon. I was under the impression as well that this isn't something that Amazon handles. Actually, I'm almost positive that Amazon doesn't handle it because you should not be importing product through Amazon unless, again, North American remote fulfillment. But even then, I would probably not be going through Amazon for that kind of thing, unless you're doing like Amazon Global Logistics, but you shouldn't from US to Canada. How can you rank your products when the rating is only 4.1 stars? Just keep being sales. The best way to increase your, first off, 4.1 is not that hard or not that bad. Is it the best in the world? No, of course not. But it's not something where I would be like, this is a lost cause. You do really need to focus and understand why. So why are you getting lower quality ratings? Why are you getting lower quality stars overall? That is something I would dig into, look at your reviews, understand why it is people are leaving negative reviews by your product. If you address that in your overall design on your product and in your product details, definitely something I would look at. Now, that being said, 4.1 is definitely not something you can't come back from. And it really just comes down to sales velocity, right? Assume at like a maximum, usually around an average of 3% review rating. So for every 100 sales, you get about 3 reviews. That's honestly fairly average, par for the course across all categories. Now, there are some categories, some products where you'll get way higher, right? You'll get 10%. Others where it's lower, you'll get 1% or 0.5%. But at the end of the day, the number one way to get more reviews is just get more sales. Let's see. Maher, can you please demonstrate HTML titles, please? No. Unfortunately, I am not going to do that right now. I'll make a video on it. Actually, I'm nearly positive we have a video on our YouTube channel. If you go to youtube.com/myamazonguy, I'm nearly positive we have a video on it. But I am not gonna demonstrate because that would be a butcher on my just strategic memory of being able to do it on the spot. I don't want to embarrass myself like that. And 2, I don't have anything prepared to be able to do it. So I have an ASIN in UK marketplace, having a well optimized with keywords and well-written content. It's been 2 years since it is uploaded, but today date, Helium 10 Cerebro says we are just ranked on 300 to 400 keywords, which is way lower than it was 2 years back. What could be the reason? You're not getting sales. That's why. So indexing is directly attributed to sales. You have to have sales to index and rank for keywords. If you're telling me that over the course of 2 years, you haven't been optimizing, and you're not doing anything, yeah, you're not going to get sales now, or you're not going to have indexing. Now, the only other aspect I would say with this is that's only if it's gone down. Now, if you only have 300 or 400 keywords in general, you're getting minor sales here and there over time. Yeah, I mean, you could. It sounds like you're probably not optimizing to actually include new indexable keywords at the end of the day. I've never once seen a product that is consistently optimizing for its front end, back end SEO, right, to find new indexable keywords, adding those into the listings, and is getting sales consistently, not have those index and rank. It's just not something that is physically possible. So one of those two things is wrong in your situation. You got to figure out which one it is. Drop a like for the live stream. Heck yeah. Let's see. I'm watching you from Afghanistan. Oh, sick. Love that. Thin crust is the correct answer. Thanks for your help, Tate. No problem, Michael. I got you. We don't have all that many questions left here, guys. We have one more from her. We'll go into that in a second. If you guys have more questions, drop them in. Otherwise, it might be an early one today. Might be an early one. Not a lot going on, which is totally fine. I won't be here actually next week either. I'll try and figure out who is going to be replacing me next week. But next week I will be at Amazon Accelerate. So I'll be on the floor there going through. If anybody's going to be at Amazon Accelerate, feel free to look for me. I'll be wearing probably this hat. Tap me on the shoulder and maybe I'll get you a hat too. So yeah, it'll be a fun little time. Maher, do you have any video link for how to get organic keywords from brand analytics? Can we use those keywords in campaigns useful? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we have plenty. Let me just look at our YouTube real quick. Actually, you're really positive that I've recorded one or two of these. Dude, it's really funny, Michael. I go to our YouTube and the first thing I see is Pizza Hut has a deal going on for thin crust. Let's see. Brand. Here we go. So literally like the very first one. I'll just share this. I'll copy the link. Here's like the very first one of her that I found. It's just how Amazon sellers use brand analytics to increase sales. So literally, if you just type in my Amazon guy brand analytics, all of the videos will pop up. How impactful is a video in the image deck? Fairly. I love having a video in the image deck all the time. I would, if you can, put a video in there. No reason not to have video. Brand approval, easy method explain. Well, it's a little rude the way they I'll be frank, but sure. The easy way, get a trademark from the USPTO. File that trademark with somebody reputable. Make sure that they're not a blacklisted lawyer. I guess that's number 2. Make sure they're not a blacklisted lawyer for brand registry. If you're worried about it, come through somebody like us, my Amazon guy. We do it for $980. I think the industry average is like $1,800. So we're like 50% of like the average cost for trademark is. Anyways, number 3, once it says pending on the USPTO, go to brand registry, click register your brand, add your pending trademark in there, wait 72 hours. Boom, you now have brand approval. So there you go. When shipping multiple SKUs in from a manufacturer, different sizes and cost of goods, what is the best way to assign shipping costs? Do we just average from total C shipping costs? Yeah, typically speaking, I mean, it depends on how granular you want to get, right? So you can. It depends on the actual, I guess, shipment. You should get a blanket invoice for the overall shipping cost, and then yes, I would apply that across all of the different products, right? Every product is basically going to be inclusive of that total shipping cost. And so, yes, you take the number of products divided by the shipping cost, and then you add that amount to every single cost of good. Now you have a landed cost of good, essentially. Yeah, boom. There you go. There's your landed cost. When setting up a new campaign, such as an exact match campaign, should I start with the minimum suggested bid, 10 to 15% lower, or how should I determine the starting bid? Yeah, so I tend to go on the lower end. Yes, usually on that suggested bid, I'm going to be probably closer to that 15%. Realistically, you're going to check it in 24 hours. You're going to check in 48 hours. You're going to see if you're getting any movement whatsoever. You can also just do down bidding only and then just do suggested bid or a little bit higher than that to see where you actually going to land. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to land somewhere within that realm. One more question. I've been getting notifications, bind-wise, that the UNSPSC code on my listings, I don't know what UNSPSC has been automatically changed by Amazon. What is the significance? Dude, you guys with these acronyms acting like I'm just. You guys act sometimes like I'm encyclopedia. I think is the United Nations Standard Products and Services Code. I didn't. Gotta be honest. I gotta be honest with you, Michael. I didn't know that. It sound. Oh, it's just the U. It's just a form of UPC. Why do you guys have to make things sound so confusing? It's been changed. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fine. To me, at the end of the day, it sounds more like you need to change your UPC over to a GS1. I mean, I guess you could technically still keep the UNS PSC. I don't see why, but it sounds like you just need to change it. If Amazon's the one changing it, that seems odd to me. I would have to do more digging into this, I suppose, to actually understand the implications of that. I've never heard this one before. It just seems like a different variation of the UPC. I would check your GS1 to see if it's directly applied there, but I don't think it should be a problem as long as it doesn't seem like it. I think I saw a video somewhere that in the title bullets, the first 1,000 characters matter the most for SEO. I may be misunderstanding something, but does that ring a bell? Yep. So in your bullet points, the first 1,000 characters are your most important when it comes to the bullet points. Now, that being said, does that mean you don't index or rank for anything past 1,000 characters? No, actually, you still can. So if you have more than 1,000 characters in your bullet points, you can still rank for those keywords or characters and keywords that are after the first 1,000 characters. It's just going to be way different. It's going to be way lower tier overall comparatively to, if you were just doing like the first 1,000. So they just don't rank as heavily, I guess is the best way to put it. Amazon FBA says, thank you so much for beginner's help. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. We don't have any more questions. It's only been about 50 minutes. So I might call it a little early today, guys, which, to be fair, it's fine by me because my calendar is booked today. You guys have no idea. So if I get an extra 10 minutes back, I'm taking that extra 10 minutes back, so to speak. So I guess we will we'll call it there today. Unless anybody has a buzzer beater question for us, in which case I guess I'll answer. But I don't see anything next, I don't know, 30 seconds. We might call it. I guess I'll pull up our website, do the whole ordeal that we normally do over there and whatnot. And we'll go from there. So let's see. Eric, you're welcome. So Eric says thank you. And then Eisen says, appreciate it. No, see you next week. I will not be here next week, actually. Again, I'm going to Amazon Accelerate next week. I will be on a plane at this time. I'll get somebody to cover me. But for those that are uninitiated here, we are my Amazon guy. We are a full service Amazon agency, one that gets your product seen and sold. If you guys have not checked this out, I highly encourage you to go to our website. We have tons of free resources for people, tons of things like our digital products. We also have some free Amazon tools such as our PPC resources directory, our crisis kit, our PPC guide, our new seller launch deck, direct to consumer growth stack, SEO toolkit, and our warehouse directory. So tons and tons of value here for you guys. All of those are free. Feel free to go over, download each and every one of them. Highly encourage it. If you guys ever need help though with full service, design work, anything, feel free to come over to our site. We have tons of different aspects for every part of Amazon. We also do direct to consumer now as well. So if you're somebody who is a current Amazon seller and you've been thinking, I don't like how much Amazon is controlling my entire business in my life, feel free to go ahead and head on over to our site, look at our direct to consumer services. We're launching tons of different brands on Shopify now that used to be just Amazon native only. And I'm seeing tons of good things from it. So really excited with that. All that being said, like I said, I will not be here next week. I will be at Amazon Accelerate. If you guys want to get all of the updates from Amazon Accelerate, I will be doing just live updates throughout the day, every single day, over on my LinkedIn, just linkedin.com/in/Noah Wickham. Go check me out there. And outside of that, I hope everyone has a great weekend and a great week ahead. And we will see you guys here soon. Thank you, everybody.